everyone, it's Beth from Save Women Sports. I have another fun interview for you while I am here in Texas testifying for HB 4042 to protect female athletes in K through 12. Jade Dickens, she is an amazing woman. She is a world champion powerlifter, a national record holder, and she helped create the group XX Fair Play Rights, which is basically a bunch of powerlifters that are behind us.
It really is.
It's amazing. Can you tell them a little bit more about yourself?
I have been powerlifting now for about 18 years, and
awesome.
I currently hold 2 national championships as far as national records for raw bench, which is 300, which I'm pretty proud of.
Which I can deadlift. I can lift that off the floor. I won't put it on my chest.
And then a little more in powerlifting is called equipped lifting, and with my equipped lifting, I am at 430.
You wear like a shirt that's like an inner tube tire, basically.
And
made out.
it's neoprene.
They're
neoprene
crazy.
blend, and they're pretty tough. It's
you are a tough cookie. That is for sure.
Calling.
So, was this your first time testifying for a bill?
It was, and the experience you have given me has just been wonderful. I cannot wait to go home and talk about it and tell everybody about it.
I hope you are empowered by it.
I
it's a little scary to dip your toes in, but it's so much fun.
But it wasn't that scary. It really wasn't. I mean, it was fun. I mean, the first couple hours, I didn't know what to expect, and then as I
let's digress and take a break there. The first couple of hours, you say, let's fill in how our day went. Me and Jade here, we have been ready to go. That's why she's already stripped down to her gym clothes.
Yep.
We have been on point since 7 o'clock this morning. We registered to testify for this bill, and it was a part of a hearing which had over 20 bills connected to it. So we had to wait our turn, and they don't go in order. And so it was just a kind of surprise as to when our bill would be heard. So we've been kind of hanging out at the Capitol all day long.
We were, and let me tell you, wear tennis shoes next time. I'm definitely wearing tennis shoes next time.
Words of advice. There's a lot of walking involved.
There's a lot of walking, but man, we got to meet some really neat people. And
Jade and I were fortunate enough to secure a meeting with the Lieutenant Governor
of Texas. Yes,
it was really fun.
That was so cool. I mean,
and he asked us for a Save Women Sports button in the end.
He sure did. He sure did. And he called me by my first name. I mean, I couldn't believe he actually remembered my first name in that conversation, and it was so awesome because it was very informal. They let us walk in there, and it just felt very real, and you just be able to speak your mind. And
so often politics seems so stuffy and just a show, and it just seemed really down to earth.
It really was. Now that was not the testifying part of it. Now the testifying part of it was a little bit different, and it was good. It was good. It was not near as bad as what I thought it was going to be.
Except they stripped us from 3 minutes to 2 minutes.
Right.
So everyone was a little frazzled trying to get down what they wanted to get in.
Yeah, not me. I just...
But she just...
From the hip, I just went with it, I just went with it. And
it was great.
It was great. I had all day to feel comfortable being in the setting. I had all day to be comfortable around the politicians and
we didn't fill them in on your background. What do you do for a living?
I am a school counselor. My new title is student advisor, but I work in a female prison, and I work with adult females. And I've been doing that. I've been in education for 15 years now. Prior to that, I was in corrections for 11 years. So prison has kind of been my life. I met my husband there. Still currently have him. He was not incarcerated. We worked there together.
And he was even commenting on your post. What a sweetheart.
Did.
It's so good that we have these men to stand behind us and help support us, because it takes more than just women. It's going to take everyone.
My husband has been very supportive. I've always worked in a male-dominated world. I've always competed in more of a male-dominated sport. And my husband has been my true rock. He has been there for me to say, you know what, he'll pat me on the back, and wipe my tears away and say, you'll be fine. Just get out there and do it again. And every time, just like today, he was encouraging everybody to make posts on on our Facebook pages and stuff like that. And so it's really awesome because it really does take everybody
It does.
to
And
make
it
this
all
issue
starts
come out.
with those grassroots conversations with friends, with family, then moving on to coaches, administrators. Let your voice be heard, because
Yes,
you'll be
absolutely.
surprised how many people agree with you. It's just such a sensitive issue, and society has taught us not to talk about it.
And that was another thing that I was really surprised about today. And because we had talked about this previously, I expected a little bit more, more of a, what am I trying to say? I always forget my words, I was expecting there to be more aggression, I guess is the word.
Oh, yeah,
More,
yeah.
More people out there going, oh, you shouldn't be doing this. And you
Right, like
shouldn't
at
be.
other capitals I've been to, they've been outside
Yes.
chanting at me
Yes.
and saying this. We can give that positivity to the opponents today, that they were very civilized.
Yes, it was very civilized, and I'm very glad for that, because that was something I wasn't looking forward to. I didn't know how I was going to handle it, but now I'm ready to handle it, because now I know the other side of it.
Exactly. Well, we know that we stand in the truth,
Right.
and there's a great power in that. And when they see that power, all they have is attacking with silly names, personal
Silly name
attacks.
calling, and yes, it's always, whenever you speak the truth, you don't have to remember anything. And we're women, and men are men, and it is. I would love to be able to lift what my male counterparts lift. I mean, that
So
would be
your bench record's
outstanding.
300.
Yes.
What does the same male with the same age and body equivalent?
Same age and body equivalent is 620. That's
More than
620 pounds.
More
Yes.
than double.
Yes.
Tell me there's not a
Yes.
difference.
I mean, really.
And we
for real.
literally had scientists there today saying that there was no difference between men and women.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
And one representative even suggested that there were 6 sexes. 6.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
And the others just kind of shook their head like it was a truth.
Yeah, it definitely is not.
Which I'll clarify, we have 2 sexes. Humans are dimorphic, that's what that means. XX, XY chromosomes, and sometimes they get a little goofed up.
Right.
And so that's when we get intersex disorders or disorders of sexual development, but there's still a variant of XX or XY. So it's
Correct.
still a female or male disorder of sexual development. We still only have the 2.
Right. Right.
It's just crazy how they can try and push this pseudoscience as facts.
Yes, and it's very upsetting because of them attempting to push something on children that they're not ready for. No one is ready to make a life decision at 8 years old or 15 years old.
It's a whole nother can of worms.
Whole nother can of worms.
Right, but children
Whew.
cannot consent to genital mutilation.
Correct. Or medical castration.
Or medical castration. Exactly.
Yeah.
They're in no way to say that.
And no other human being has the right to take that away from you. Even your parent. They don't have the right to take that away from you. And that is what is so upsetting about all of this, is the impact that they're going to have on the future generations of children.
The erasure of women goes far beyond sports. And
It
I could
does.
talk for hours and hours and hours about this. But like rapid onset gender dysphoria is a serious issue in our nation, and it's all part of the same tree here.
Yes.
And so we need to look at those facts and face it, that children can't consent.
Right. And this is just a small step in, standing up for women's rights. We've worked very, very hard over the years. I mean, we've only been able to vote for 100 years.
Title IX is not even 50 years old
It's not
yet.
even 50 years old.
And
It
now
really
Biden
didn't even...
decimated it
Yeah.
by including gender identity on International Women's Day, making an executive order to insert gender identity by sex. Like, no,
Right.
sir, you do not
Right.
have that power. I'm sorry. You cannot erase women. We will not
What she said.
we will not consent to the bull crap. We will not comply with the lie, and we will not compromise.
Correct.
So Jade, what would you tell other people in your shoes that are thinking about testifying for the first time?
It is not as scary as what you think it is. That's just it. It's not as scary. Was kind of, worried about it.
It's a little intimidating.
It is a little intimidating, but as we got there today, everything was fine. It really was. I mean, you walk in with your head up and your shoulders back, and you walk in knowing that you're going to make a statement. You make your statement, and you walk out. And that was what it was about.
Right, and nothing else really matters but getting out your story. And that
Yeah.
is so empowering to get that off your chest, to be able to speak your mind, because we're often just so bullied into silence. It's a really nice opportunity for us to be heard, and they really took us seriously. I mean, at other committees in other states I've been to, they've been quite rude even, and been on their cell phones and whatnot while I'm talking, and this group was actually captivated.
They were.
And their jaws dropped when Jade said how much she can power lift. It was great.
That was pretty cool, I'll admit that. Because I really don't think they know. I mean, if you look at the people that are making our laws and stuff, how many of them were really athletes?
Exactly.
How many of them really know what the difference
Well,
between...
we do know that with females, 95% of those leaders, CEOs, and government officials have played sports in their past. So think about that. If we're cutting off those building blocks to give women the tools to become those leaders, we're cutting off a whole economic powerhouse.
Yes.
Women.
50% of our population, over 50% of the world's population.
A lot of people just don't know about this issue until it hits home.
And by that time, it's too late.
And then it's too late. It is.
Too late.
We are opening a floodgate, is how I like to... if a floodgate's open, how do you push it closed again? It takes a lot of effort and a lot of work. And if we continue to allow males to compete, it's what we're doing. We're just letting that floodgate open.
And what's the next thing we're going to give up? What's the next thing after that we're going to give up?
Sports is the tip of the spearhead of the erasure of women. But again, that's a whole nother...
Well, and you seeing what you come against, 3 years ago was so eye-opening. I was like anybody else. I was like, oh, this is really not going to hit home. This is really... I live in Texas, for real. This really isn't coming here. I live in the South. So, but when I saw you go through what you went through, and I was devastated for you. And I started talking with my friends. I'm like, what can we do? We cannot sit by and let this happen. I can't let my daughters, I can't let my grandchildren, I can't even let my friends' daughters not have the opportunity and have to go and compete against a male. And then when we started hearing all the things about the players over in the UK, the rugby players over there, and starting to see pictures, and these guys were, 6'5" playing with 5'4" women, and I'm like, there's just nothing right about that.
Isn't it mind-boggling that these men who feel like women can't actually put themselves in our shoes and see what they're doing to women?
Exactly. That was one of my biggest things at the very beginning, was like, morally, you know that you're bigger, faster, and stronger than I am, but you're going to compete against me anyways, and you could possibly...
It just proves that this is not about sports, it's about validation to them.
Right.
And we don't need to comply with the lie.
Right.
These are men. They're not women.
Exactly.
We are women.
We are.
We don't need another label.
Nope.
We are not cisgender. We are women.
I'm a woman. I am a woman.
An adult human female. Thank you, Kelly
female.
J. Key.
Absolutely. And I will not let anybody take that. I will not let anybody take that word away from me.
Well, thank you. We have certainly put our stake in the ground.
Yes.
And let people know where we stand. And I hope that our courage helps bring out your courage, and next time you will think about testifying too.
Calling your senators.
I was just going to get into that. If you're not able to testify in person, you can call your representatives, you can call the bill sponsors, you can usually send in written testimonies, During COVID times, we've been allowing to do Zoom testimonies as well. If you have activity in your state and you need help, do not hesitate to reach out to me.
Right.
info@savewomensports.com, and I can help support you through the process. And you will feel so amazing when it's done, guaranteed, huh, Jade?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There is somebody out there that will help you, and they will help get your point across and help you make your statement.
Well, it has been awesome
It
to
has
be
been.
down in Texas here and have this day with you, and your southern hospitality is great.
Thank you.
And I can't wait until we can hang out again together.
I know. Let nationals come back.